You know, I've been asked a time or two what attracted me to New Thought. Now, that's a little bit of a story behind it, but I'll give you the compressed version of it. Like most people, I was raised in a traditional religious background. Not too heavy, not too light. My folks were middle-class people that would go to church on Sundays sometimes, and I went through what they called a catechism. A couple of days, I think it was after school, we would go and learn things. And I was okay with it. I was kind of impressed with all the pomp and circumstance of the ceremonies and all the wonderful statues in the church and all that. But by the time I was out on my own, I really had no time for that because I was busy pursuing other things. But later in life, I would say back in the 80s, I came upon what you might call a New Thought church. Now, I should preface this to say that since I was a kid, teenager, I had been just consuming positive thought books. Napoleon Hill and Casey and a number of the others that I enjoyed fascinated me. But I hadn't really found this sort of thinking in a church format before. And I stumbled across a Science of Mind church, religious science church, and was really impressed because everything that was said there made a lot of sense to me, that we could be creators of our own lives. And this church in particular was a very vibrant, prosperous church, and everyone was positive and upbeat and happy. Quite a change from the churches that I had experienced as a youngster. Well, my parents actually had done a little bit of church shopping of their own, and back about this same time, or a little prior to that, they investigated transcendental meditation, and they introduced myself and my siblings to it. And this was again a great departure from what I had sampled as a youth. Well, I never really did much with TM, transcendental meditation, but I found myself being drawn back to these New Thought churches. Eventually, the minister from this particular church moved, and I couldn't move with him. So I did a bunch of wandering here and there, and I discovered along the ways Unity Church and some others that also held this same belief that we are one with God, that we're all of one essence. Well, fast forward a bit more, and the reading continued. And I read about this Renaissance movement around the turn of the century of a lot of the founders of what's called New Thought, but it's actually American New Thought. And I was really impressed by the fact that here was something I thought at the time was founded here in the United States, but nothing could be further from the truth. What they did was they revitalized, they revived ancient wisdom. New Thought premise is that we're not separate from God. God is within us and within all things, whether it be animate objects, living creatures, plants, right down to the stones and the minerals. We're all made from the same substance, but moving at different vibrations. And I've also learned that the thought force that we can generate from our own thinking animates this substance that is common among all things. That through our thinking and visualization and meditation and affirmation and a number of other techniques, we can bring about profound changes in our lives. We can manifest things seemingly out of nothing, although the channels of supply usually come through earthly means. Having found this to be true in my own life, I became more excited and found that nothing else felt as right. There was no shaming of the congregants or telling them they were worthless dust or sinners that are going straight to hell. No, they taught that God, Spirit, is a loving God, one that embraces all things, one that only motivation is love and expansion, just as we see mirrored in nature. Everything grows in nature from center to circumference, whether it be a plant or an animal. And so it is with our spiritual unfoldment. By starting with that essence of God within us and expanding outward, by working with our thoughts, we can affect immediate areas around us. We can affect the planet. We can change the vibration of people all around the world if given the chance. What attracted me to New Thought? It felt like coming home after a long, long journey. It felt like putting on that comfortable warm coat that's been your favorite for so long and sitting down next to a warm fire. It felt like a contentment of spirit knowing that this was truth. It's the truth we all share within us. We don't need to jump through any hoops. We don't need to go to any given church. We just need to look inside. We just need to dwell on that inner spirit that is within us. So I welcome you along the path, no matter what point you may be. Investigate New Thought. Investigate the wonderful founders back around the turn of the century who were involved. It's true. It's real. And it may be for you. God bless you on your path.